Hey, everybody, what's going on? Fatso Radio, episode number 97. 97, really? This episode of Fatso Radio and every episode of Fatso Radio is brought to you by Volpe Martial Arts. My brother, Sifu Adam Volpe, brings you his whole life, passion, love of martial arts. And I bring it to you because I'm there and I'm helping. Sifu Adam Volpe, my brother, brings you years and years of experience, years of love and passion. Hapkido, a Korean style, Kung Fu, Chinese style, awesome fusion, self-defense, forms, weapons, sparring, breaking, techniques. We do it all, folks. It's amazing. You learn self-defense, you learn discipline, you get a great workout, and adds to the family, adds to the community, just like I'm going to be talking about in this episode tonight. Village, community. Who's in your village? Who's in your community? How do you support them? Volpe Martial Arts. Check them out, volpemartialarts.com. All right, folks. I love you all. Lily, take it away.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, our very first podcast show.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio. How you doing? Another Friday, folks. Another Friday night, another episode coming to you live. Well, I'm alive and you're alive. We're all live. I hope we're alive if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, but welcome to Fatso Radio. My name is Carlo Volpe, and again, it's my pleasure to come to you each and every Friday. Tonight, what do I want to talk about? Well, tonight, folks, I've talked about this in the past. I'm going to talk about it in the future. I'm going to talk about it right now. It's so important. The village, the community, your support group. What is it? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to me? Why is it so important? Why do I preach all the time about the village, the community? And I want to talk about a couple things that could be possibly damaging, or maybe we consider our village, but maybe not our village, or maybe not what we should be considering our village. And what I mean by village, I mean where are you getting your support? Where are you getting your love, first of all, right? Where are you getting your guidance, your direction, your education, your just overall support, right? And it comes in many different ways. So, of course, I want to talk about where I get my love and my support, and who is in my village, who's in my community. First and foremost, my family, my wife, my children, right? But before that, let's talk about before that. Growing up, right? Your village is your immediate family. If you have siblings, great. If you don't have siblings, doesn't matter. You have parents. If you don't have parents, you have somebody, but it's your immediate family. Siblings are not. And so your parents, but not only your parents, it's your aunts and uncles, if you have aunts and uncles. It's your grandparents, if you're lucky enough to have grandparents. It's your great-grandparents, if you're lucky enough to great-grandparents, and so on. So it's the extended family as well. It's cousins. It's your aunts and uncles. They have kids, so they're part of your family. They're part of the community. They're part of the village. And that may seem like complete common sense, and it is. I understand. Excuse me. But what I want to get at is that they're your support. They're the best support for you, right? For many reasons. They're not going to have all the answers necessarily. And again, great time to remind everybody, I don't have all the answers, folks. I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm giving you advice, just personal advice, right? We're all experts in ourselves. And at the same time, we're all novices and we all know nothing about ourselves. But it's up to us to explore. It's up to us to experiment. So again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you nutritional advice. I'm just showing you what I've seen. I'm telling you what I've seen. And hopefully it's useful. So it's helpful. So again, to the village. So the community is so important, right? But it's not just your family. It's outside of that family. It's the friends that you go to school with, right? It's the friends that you go to school with. And then those friends grow up and those friends move away, or those friends, even if they don't move away, they still live in the same town as you. They have kids and they have families and they go on and get different jobs and they want to do their things. If these people are still in contact with you, these are your friends. This is your village, right? It's different these days because these days we're not all literally in a village. We're not all confined to a geographical area, right? In the olden days, we would be literally in a village where, Joe is the blacksmith and Sally's the baker or whatever, you know what I mean? Like every person had a job, and every family and things like that it was very close. But now it's different. Now we have family all over the world, but they're still family. They're still your village, and it's still your community. And in fact, it's from one standpoint, or from many standpoints, I guess, it's better these days because we now have the ability to connect to a person that is across the world or halfway across the world, right? Where we didn't have that before. Years ago, before travel was as easy as, as fast as it is today, when your family member went away and they went away, you saw them maybe months later or years later, or maybe never later, right? But the idea that with digital, with our technology, with our capabilities of today, we can keep our village strong, and we should be keeping it strong. But that village is so important, and I want to get into kind of why that village is important. But to expand on just the people you go to school with, and then they grew up. But not only that, your kids, if you have kids, and even when you were a kid, you played sports, right? If you did, if not, you went to dance, or you took an art class, or you took whatever class is that that's how your community grows. It's kind of, you think of the same way as kind of, your COVID bubble and all this stuff. I don't want to talk about COVID much, but it's kind of like the same thing. Who are you in contact with? Who influences you? If you can catch a virus from someone, then that person can probably pass on some knowledge, some guidance, some support, actually a lot more guidance, knowledge, and support, because you don't have to be physically there. It's a lot easier, I guess, to pass on all of that stuff rather. But that's what I mean, right? So when churches are open, I think they're still open, I'm not sure. But like I said, dance and sports teams and everything. I remember growing up, even from the youngest ages of going swimming or just anything sports, whether it's school or not. And then high school sports, of course, you meet a lot of friends, still best friends to this day. I met through sports, through school, and then college and other things like that. So again, other clubs too, even as adults, there's the Knights of Columbus, there's all their Mason groups and all these other clubs that are out there, and the Legion, of course, and so many things like that. And that's part of your village, and it's so important to nurture and support that village, right? Okay, so we've established, I think I've done a pretty good job of establishing who I consider my village, and that village, like I said, it grows, and it can be as big as you want it to be. Right? With technology today, we can stay in touch, and we can keep in touch with people from years ago. And I do that every day, and it's amazing. And people contact me and I contact them, and you just see them, and someone else is a friend. And it's like, you get to a point where you think, man, I think I've connected with everybody I think I remember. But then someone else pops up, and it's great, right? Add them into the mix. Add them to the mix. I mean, the thing is, it's, if you look at it that way, right? You don't have to be social. You don't have to share. If you don't, the thing about being online or having all these friends and having this network, whether it's it's not a social media thing, but doesn't mean that people are going to always agree with you, right? Even within that village, it doesn't mean that people are going to agree with you. It doesn't matter. Even in the old school, old kind of times village, you're not always going to have people that will agree with you. And it's not about being agreed with, right? And that's what I wanted to kind of differentiate between the other online villages that you can have. So you can have online villages that are like groups and communities, and really just the online space these days, Facebook and all of that stuff. And that's good too, right? And a lot of times, those types of groups and those types of communities and villages are really good because they're really good for a specific purpose. Sometimes you can surprise yourself, obviously, and have some kind of benefits and find some cool things that you weren't looking in. But if you're in a group of keto, and you're in a group of carnivore, you're in a vegetarian group, or whatever your group that you want to be on, or a knitting group or a ice skating group or whatever it is, it's good because you can have a little community there, and that's great as well, right? But what's not a good place to find kind of or to consider your village, and what's not a good place to look for, in my opinion, again, right? Where would I not suggest you go for guidance and support and just really guidance and reference and advice? And that's the TV, and that's advertising, and that's the things you see in TV and movies and everything, because those, especially, the advertisement, the commercials, they're trying to sell you, especially drug ads and everything. That's not your village, right? They're trying to make money off you. And even just stores for that matter, right? You go down a store, whatever's sale, or certain products here, like that's not, it's also a village, of course, but that's not where you should be getting your advice from. That's not, I don't think, of course, right? It's my opinion. Because, and here's why. Here's my whole reason why. They're just their only interest that this company has in you is to make money. So you're a consumer, right? You're a dollar sign on your head. So they're going to need to say what they want to say, or they're going to say rather what they need to say to get your sale, right? But your family's not like that. Your friends are not like that, right? These are people, and again, your extended family, your extended friendship, your extended circles. Those are where you need to find your support. Those are where you should find your support. And yes, for some people, it is hard to find that physical, that family support. But like I said, the online support is still there. Online friendships are great. Like I said, from high school days from back even elementary school days, or friends of friends and everything. There's no excuse to not connect today. There really isn't. I mean, I guess maybe when the internet first came out, it was pretty easy to not connect. But these days, there's no excuse to connect. You can connect to anybody all over the world, and that's what I mean about the village and the online support, or sorry, the community support. And why is it so important, folks? So this is going to be a short one tonight, by the way, but it's going to be important. Or why I'm going to focus on why the community again is important. And I've done this many times, episodes before, but it's so important because that same community that loves you and supports you, right, is there, and they love and support you. It's hard to even explain, but it's a magical gift, right? When someone loves you, when someone has you in their life, right? It's a gift. It truly is. And to spread that gift, to spread that love rather, and to share the gift of love is an amazing thing. And we should be doing that. Okay. So when you want, if you have your group or whoever your group is, the village, the community you are in, turn to them for help. And I really say turn to them for help because they're all families. Everybody, even if they're not your family, they have a family. They all understand what it is. So turn to them for help, but also go to them and assist them, right? When we're talking about the diet, when we're talking about getting healthy and eating right, me, I always say the same thing: eat your fats, eat your good proteins, stay away from the crap food, right? Whether it's the debate on vegetarian or meat at all, let's start right from that. You want to get the garbage food out of our diet, folks. And it's the village, the community of people supporting each other to do that. And what do I mean by that? If you're part of the community, you're part of the friendship, you're part of the family, somebody's struggling, or if you don't, and someone is coming to you, telling you or asking you, then let's jump in. Let's all do it. Even if you're not going to do the keto diet, this is a plea to everybody. If you're not doing the keto diet, you're not going to do the carnivore diet, help out your friend. We all know that sugar's shit. We all know that sugar is crap and it's causing everybody to be sick. It really is causing everybody to be sick. So how do we support someone? If you're not going to follow a ketogenic diet, but you still want to support someone that is struggling with sugar, how do you do it? Well, maybe you support them and say, hey, you can still follow the keto diet, but if you're not, I get that. But what I really mean is more support too. It's like when people are not only starting, I got to correct that right away. When people are on a diet at all, at any kind of diet, or if people are trying to create new habits and break old habits, and new patterns are trying to create and break old patterns, it really, really does. It helps to have that community. I would say that it's essential to have that support, whether it's your family, it's your friends, like I said, a wife, a brother, a husband, a wife, a brother, a sister. It's essential because we have struggles, right? There are days on any diet, there are days on any way of eating that you're like, I just don't feel like this, and I'm not sure what to do, and I don't know, I just feel like whatever. Talk to somebody. Talk to your mother. Talk to your father. Talk to your aunts or uncles or whatever. I know it might sound silly, but it's better than just saying, well, I don't know, I'm just gonna do this bad habit or do this whatever. But the other part of the village too is like about the community is like, if you do know that it is unhealthy, or if you do feel like, sorry, not that you know anything, but if you feel like it is, and you feel like this is helping you, and you feel like this could help someone else, don't be afraid to tell them, hey, this is helping me. Again, the same thing I say, folks. I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm not giving you nutritional advice, but I'm giving you a picture, a snapshot into what is going on with me and what's helping me feel the best that I've ever felt in my entire life. I'm 42. You can tell by the gray hair on my chin. I'm 42 years old, right? I have a job now that I'm working outside. I'm in a truck sometimes. I'm walking all over town sometimes, walking many, many, many kilometers, right, folks? So what? And I'm doing it. And this diet, this way of life, this way of eating, WOE. That's like the big thing these days, right? Don't want to say diet anymore. Everyone should say way of eating. That means your diet, okay? But I know we're in a culture right now, we're in a society where you can't really point things out too good or too well, rather, like my language, my grammar, whatever. But it needs to be pointed out, right? Okay, that's enough for me. Folks, it's been a long week. I've been working all week, which is great. I'm outside, I'm working, whether it's rain, whether it's shine or snow, whatever. And we're lucky right now, December 11th, there's not even snow on the ground. It's cold. It's not even that cold. We're lucky. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. Everybody's blessed here. So what I want to say, same old thing. Why am I doing another episode? Because it's Friday. It's time to do an episode. That's why I'm doing it. The community, the village, Tough love, there's a reason why tough love is a saying, right? Tough love only comes from the people who love you. There's your village. There's your community. If you know something that can help your family, tell them, help them. If you know that this can help you, if this has helped you, spread the word, bang the drum. If you're not that person in your family that bangs the drum, that's okay. Convince the person that in your family that bangs the drum about this. Not even convince them. Show them this. Educate them about this. Show them why. Show them why getting rid of the sugar, getting rid of the carbohydrates in your diet, or at least dramatically lowering it, can help them. Show them if you believe it. If you don't believe it and you're listening to this and you're watching this anyway, well then thanks. You're just a buddy of mine. Thank you so much. You're just a good friend. But if you do, spread the word. It takes a community. It takes a village. And that's the other part of it, right? It takes a village to spread the word. It takes a village. It takes that online village. It takes the in-person village. It takes the village, the people that you meet in your workers, in your job, right? Your coworkers. It takes people that you meet in school. And I mean people all the time. I mean people in this new job. I mean people, my last job. I mean people anywhere I go, right? Just walking down the street, I meet people. And I always talk about it. Right? So, well, of course I always talk about it. I have a podcast. But what I mean is the term evangelize has a weird, it's a good meaning for a lot of people, has a weird meaning for some people, has maybe a bad meaning for some other people. But evangel really, to me, is like spreading the word, right? And I really feel like if you do feel like this works, and the thing is too, right? If this hasn't done anything dramatic for you, then you're not going to feel like you need to bang the drum. And maybe this hasn't done anything great for you. And if it hasn't, let me know why. If it hasn't because you haven't tried it, awesome. That's okay. Try it. Let me know. fatsoradio@gmail.com. Hit me up, folks. Instagram, Fatso Radio. Twitter, I'm Radio Fatso, I believe. Facebook page, all that stuff. Don't forget to subscribe and link and send me a link. Send me an email. Send me a message. Let me know if you want to be on the Fatso Radio podcast. Let me know if you have a guest for me. If you have someone who's a doctor, a butcher, anybody, a nutritionist, anybody wants to talk about fat, anybody wants to talk about nutrition and keto, someone who thinks it's garbage. A lot of people are still thinking keto is a fad diet. I heard that in 2013, 14, 15, 2010. I don't think I heard too much 2010, but 2012, I started hearing about it. It's not a fad diet, folks. It's the proper human diet, in my opinion. None of that crap. Maybe some fruit once in a while. You can still be ketogenic, right? You can still be basically a carnivore-ish diet. And that's basically what I am now. 90% probably meat, the odd berry. But if not, it's just really meat, maybe 95% meat, maybe 99% meat. It's hard to say, but it doesn't really matter because the base of my diet is now meat. And even before it was meat, it was it was not carbs. It was carbs originally, but it was fat and protein before that, right? But as a carnivore diet, you're in ketosis for a while. You're not in ketosis maybe all the time, but even when I was on the keto diet, I wasn't in ketosis all the time, right? So I think the overall 24-hour picture, the 48-hour picture, the 72-hour picture, what you do that week, right? What you do day over day really matters. And again, it's about keeping the blood sugar down. And my last episode was about blood sugar, type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is rampant, folks. It's so common. It's everything from borderline diabetic to you have insulin resistance to your blood sugar is a little high. It's all on the spectrum, right? It's all on the spectrum. And a lot of things can get fixed. A lot of things you can feel a lot better if you lower those carbohydrates. And how do you do it? You go to fat. What's fat? Fat in the Fatso Radio. Just like Fatso Radio, right, folks? Thank you so much for listening to Fatso Radio. Thank you so much for watching Fatso Radio. Again, fatsoradio@gmail.com. I love you all. Thank you. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Volpe Martial Arts. KW's hottest, newest Kung Fu and Hapkido. It's been a long week, folks. I'm a little tired, but I wanted to tell you that I love you. And thank you for listening. And thank you for your reviews. And thank you for your comments and the shares and all that stuff. Friday. Peace. I love you all. I really do. Thanks. Violet, say thanks for listening and all that stuff. Thanks, everybody. I love you. Peace. Let's say bye to everybody. And we'll say thanks for listening. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
So get your butt and get in your chair.
Don't eat your nails and don't pull your hair.
We'll talk about chicken or talk about steak.
We'll talk about fat, for goodness sake.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, a very first podcast show.